Hey, how are you? Well, first, I really want to thank everybody for the response to this video. I got a notification from YouTube saying that this was the best response that I've ever had on any of my videos. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And there were a lot of questions for this project, so I'll just go through them one by one. The first one was, how did I sand the bench seat? Because I went right from cross-cutting it to length to finishing it. And that's because the camera ran out of battery, and I actually made that whole project in a day. I started around 9:30 and I finished around 7:30 that night because I had a crazy week last week and I didn't get a lot of time in the shop. I did spend more time throughout the week finishing it, just putting on coats of finish, but for the most part it was all done in one day. So anyway, after I finished cutting the seat to length, I sanded the seat with 80 grit sandpaper in my orbital disc sander, and then I switched over to 120 grit silicone carbide paper in my palm sander. And once I finished with the palm sander, I sanded the top, really basically just the edges, taking the sharpness off of the edges by hand using 150 grit silicone carbide paper. And I always sort of do my final sanding by hand because I don't want to round the edges over, I just want to take the sharpness off. For a finish, I used Minwax Wipe On Poly, and I've been using this a lot lately. It's really easy to use. I think it's a nice finish, and it's just really user-friendly. One of the nice things about it is I made that bench for my kids. So it's not for my kids, but for my house, and my kids are going to use it. So it's going to get a lot of wear and tear, and maybe 6 months, a year from now, I'll lightly sand the top and put on another coat of the Wipe On Poly, and it should be as good as new. Whenever I finish a top, or in this case a seat, I want to finish the top and the bottom because I want to seal the whole piece of wood so it absorbs less moisture from the atmosphere. So the way I like to do it is first finish the bottom, and then I've got these are little blocks of 3/4 inch plywood with an 1 5/8 drywall screw through them, and I'll spread these out on my work table. First finish the bottom, and then I'll flip it over, rest the bottom on the tops of these screw heads, which leave almost no mark, and besides it's on the bottom, and then I'll finish the top, and this way the top and the bottom are finished at the same time. A few people wanted to know about the paste that was on the screws when I was attaching the clips to the seat, and that's a product called Woodworking. This is a buffing paste, and the way you use it is you use 4-0 steel wool, put a little of the paste on the steel wool, and then rub in the direction of the grain, and that gives your finish a nicer feel and a more even look. It's a product that I've been using for a long time and I really like it. But I'll also use it as a lubricant if I'm screwing into really hard wood. So not only will I pre-drill for the screw, but I'll put a little of the wool lube on that screw, and that just helps to ensure that you don't strip or break the screw. A couple of people wanted to know about the finish that I used on the clips. That wasn't the Wipe On Poly, that was shellac. Shellac dries really fast, so for small projects like those clips or the handles for this cabinet, shellac is just really convenient. Now, I'm doing something new with my social media, which is Instagram. That's sort of, my kids are teenagers, so they're saying that nobody does anything with Facebook. I'm going to still do Facebook, but I'm going to start working more with Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll have all of the links up on my YouTube page and my website. And basically the plan is to maybe make short Insta-vids out of some of my videos, and that way it's almost like a quick overview of a video or a project. I'll also take pictures of what I'm working on, so if you want to get a peek at what Friday's project is going to be, you can check out my Instagram account. And also when I go and visit other woodworkers and artists and wood shops or retail shops for wood, things like that, just things that I think you'd find interesting. So I hope you'll check that out. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday.